What's going on, guys? Welcome to another installment of Top 5 Cards that I think could make you some money. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My goal with this video series that drops every single Thursday is to give you guys picks that you may not be getting elsewhere, with analysis that's easy to understand, that makes sense, so that we can all be better sports card investors and collectors. Let's get into it. First on our list this week is Pete Alonso. Since winning the Home Run Derby for the second time in as many years, the Polar Bear has been on an absolute tear, batting .326 and slugging .673 with 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 8 runs scored. Besides smashing home runs, Alonso was an all-star in 2019 and is a former National League Rookie of the Year. What I really like about Alonso at this particular moment is that the Mets are in first place in their division. It is a tight race, but if the Mets can squeeze into the playoffs and Alonso is there to lead the charge, his cards could see some major spikes. There's always plenty of attention on big market teams, and with the Yankees kind of struggling this year, the Mets could be the only NYC representative at this year's Fall Classic. Overall, Alonso's cards are pretty affordable. His Topps Chrome base PSA 10 regularly sells in the $50 to $60 range, his Refractor around $100 to $120, and you can even get an X-Fractor for around $200. Compared to other young players of his caliber, those prices are rather cheap. Personally, I would stick to refractors and color parallels, and not focus so much on his base Topps Chrome, as the pop count on that card is pretty high at 5352. As you can see from the charts that I pulled up over the last 30 days, Alonso's cards are moving in the right direction. When we look at price changes by percentage, we see that his Topps Chrome is up 42.4%, while his Topps Chrome Refractor is up 70%, guys. While the Topps Chrome X-Fractor, from a strictly percentage standpoint, hasn't had that much movement, but the population report on that one is so low at 192 that I think that may have something to do with it, especially with this kind of one low sale right here. But if you kind of look on eBay right now, which you could actually link directly to from Market Movers, you'll see that, people are asking around the $195 range or the $1,000 range if you feel like just kind of spending extra money for no particular reason. Anyway, guys, I'm in on Pete Alonso. I think he's a smart buy. I think he can do something in the playoffs this year that will see his card prices spike. Sticking with baseball, our next card this week is Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox. Robert went down with a hip flexor injury back in early May. A lot of people feared that this injury could be season-ending, but Robert has gone through rehab and is now getting swings down in AAA in preparation for a return to the big league club. Robert was like the most hyped rookie from last year's card class. His cards did dip towards the end of the season as Robert went on a major slump to close out his freshman year. It's unclear if it was just a case of opposing teams changing their strategies when facing Lou Bob, or if he just hit a rookie wall. What has been clear to many investors and collectors is that Robert possesses the tools to be an elite big league player. It's just a matter of, will he put it all together? What I really like about Robert at this given time is that he plays for the playoff-bound Chicago White Sox, who are considered one of the favorites to go all the way this year. If Robert does do well and find success, it's going to matter, and it's going to move the needle. Also, Robert is only 23 years old. Even if he doesn't break out this year, there will be plenty of opportunities for him to do so going forward. Remember that Shohei Ohtani and Vladdy Guerrero weren't getting much buzz this time last year, but are now two of the most chased players in the hobby. People always saw the talent, but their prices stayed stagnant due to performance. Lou Bob could be this type of player. He could be 1 or 2 years away from truly breaking out. Only time will tell. For Robert, there are a lot of affordable options. Most of his cards are at an all-time low, due to him kind of just being away for the majority of the year. But some of his cards have seen an uptick recently as his return approaches. Depending on your budget, I'd be looking at his Bowman First and his Topps Chrome from 2020, both in PSA 10. If you could find a good deal on a color parallel or refractor, those are definitely going to be the ones with the most upside. Both the Bowman and the Topps Chrome do have, not the craziest of population counts, but they are both approaching 7,000. And with the PSA backlog, I kind of feel like that number is going to grow. Specifically for the Topps Chrome, this is a card that could get up to close to 10,000. Either way, guys, if you've been thinking about getting into Luis Robert, this may be your best opportunity for a long time. If he does come back and show flashes of the greatness that people think he possesses, I believe that these cards are going to go up, and they're going to go up fast. People haven't forgotten about Lou Bob. Moving over to basketball, our next pick this week is Kevin Porter Jr. of the Houston Rockets. KPJ broke out in a big way this past season, dropping 50 points in a game against the Bucks on April 29th. His cards saw a dramatic spike in the days and weeks to come, but actually pulled back after it was clear that the Houston Rockets were not really making the playoffs, and attention kind of shifted to players who would be contending for a championship. KPJ was originally a first-round pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2019. Off-the-court issues plagued Porter during his time in Cleveland, which led to his eventual trade to Houston. Rockets assistant coach and former NBA player John Lucas is said to be leading the way as a key mentor for Porter, who hasn't had any on or off the court issues since arriving in Houston. Last year, Porter averaged 16.6 points per game, 6.3 assists, and 32.1 minutes per game with the Rockets. If he remains on the straight and narrow, Porter could be a cornerstone piece of the Rockets' rebuild going forward. The talent is undeniable, and honestly, Porter possesses all-star level talent. He also can fill up a stat sheet, which collectors and investors love. For Porter, I'm looking at his Prism and Select cards. The population on Porter cards across the board is relatively low, and most options are pretty affordable. There is some risk, but if Porter can become the star many think he's capable of becoming, there's also tremendous upside. As you can see here in Market Movers, looking over the past 90 days, from just around April 29th. I believe this is the big spike right here that he had when he hit that 50-point game. He went from right around $80, $85 to about 152, basically overnight. I remember this because I had some Kevin Porter Jr. PSA 10s. I think I had a Select, an Optic, and a Prism, and I sold all three of them within 24 to 48 hours. When guys have big performances like this, their cards move and they move fast. And I predicted that there would be this bit of a drop off because I just thinking okay, the Rockets, they're not that relevant. It's just bound to happen. And as you can see, guys, his cards have been going down, but I've kind of leveled off. Definitely over the last, I'm going to say, let's look at the last 30 days. It's pretty much a straight line, but it is actually kind of ticking up from under 60 to above over 60. I think as the NBA season gets closer and people start considering who the breakout stars of next season are going to be, KPJ is going to be on a lot of people's lists. So I would definitely be on the lookout for his cards. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with videos just like this one. I drop these pick videos every Thursday. Also, if you want to learn more about the graphs and charts that I'm using, check out Market Movers by Sports Card Investor. To me, it's the best piece of software in the industry. It just makes me money. It keeps me ahead of the game and allows me to make smart investment decisions. That's what this channel is all about. I'll drop a link in the description and include a promo code. Check them out. Next on the list today is Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. Originally a Laker draft pick back in 2016, Ingram really broke out as a member of the Pelicans during the 2019-2020 season, which included an all-star selection for the young forward. That year, he averaged nearly 24 points per game to go along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. This past season, although not an all-star, Ingram basically duplicated his statistical output from the previous year. His cards, however, dropped in price. I attribute a lot of that to the market overall having dipped during this time period and also Ingram's team not particularly having a strong season. But here is where Ingram gets really interesting. There are those in New Orleans that believe Ingram and Zion Williamson may not be the best fit as teammates, not necessarily they don't get along, but just in an X's and O's kind of way. So Ingram has been linked in numerous trade talks, including most recently with the Miami Heat. A move from the Big Easy to South Beach could revitalize Ingram's card market and bring investors some nice returns. That window may be closing fast, however, as just over the last few days, Ingram was quoted as saying that he would love and welcome a trade to Miami. Ingram has quite a few rookie card options, but I want to focus on his 2016 Prism base in PSA 10. Unlike other recent rookies, the population count on this card is relatively low, with only 1,113 currently in PSA 10. Looking at this card over the last 180 days, we see that this card is down about 65%. But if you look over the past 30 days, the card has been trending up with recent sales around the $150, $160 mark. I believe we've hit the floor on this card and that prices will likely start ticking up, with or without a trade. But if Ingram does indeed move to South Beach, we could see a big spike in the near future. This might be the point to pull the trigger on Brandon Ingram. Last on the list this week is Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams. To me, Stafford is the best kept secret in the hobby. According to Vegas, Stafford currently has the 8th best odds to win MVP this coming season, and the Rams as a team are consistently in the top 4 when it comes to Super Bowl odds. The sports bettors, the analysts, and the insiders all believe in the Rams and in Matthew Stafford. But what about the card hobby? One reason you just don't hear a lot about Stafford's cards going up is because there just aren't that many on the market. His Bowman Chrome base has a PSA 10 population of just 90. The Refractor 17. His Topps base is at 120, and Topps Chrome is at 99. Even when you include BGS and any other grading company you want to throw in there, the numbers are still staggeringly low. A lot of people believe that Stafford is in the perfect situation with the Rams. Stafford likes to chuck it down the field. And now he has a coach that also wants to chuck it down the field and the weapons around him to do so successfully. With the NFL adding extra games to the regular season this year for the first time ever, there's even a chance that Stafford could break the all-time passing yards record. If he can remain healthy, of course. With Stafford, you have a perfect storm brewing. If he hits, as many are predicting that he will, the supply will in no way, shape, or form be able to keep up with the demand. If this is the case, his prices could see dramatic increases. In terms of his cards, it's kind of a get in where you can scenario. I would be targeting his Topps Chrome first, but also looking at his Bowman Chrome and definitely any parallels or refractors. Competition on these cards has definitely been heating up lately on eBay, so I would also check out my local card shops, Facebook groups, that sort of thing. Anyways, guys, that's it for this week. Check out these other videos, subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments what you think of Stafford and all of this week's picks. See you next time.